Greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley real estate market update. Not much different from last month, and a very similar pattern in terms of inventory being elevated and sales being down over the 10-year averages. However, there is a slight difference in terms of prices month over month in Greater Vancouver, and for the worst in Fraser Valley, I guess, if you're comparing it to last month. So, if you're looking at the Greater Vancouver total active listings, those are still above the 10-year average, being elevated around 34.6% above where we normally are. Looking at sales, those are sitting around 26.6% below the 10-year averages. How that reflects in terms of actual price, year over year, all property types are down, with apartments being hit the hardest, then detached homes and townhouses faring the best from the three. However, if you're looking at the numbers month over month, detached homes had an increase of about 0.4%, and townhouses had an increase of about 0.5%, with apartments still lagging behind with a decrease of 0.7%, in large part due to the newer inventory dragging down the entire sector. Detached homes sit in buyer's market territory at 10.7%. Apartments sit at 14.2%, which is technically considered balanced market territory, but it's leaning one way or the other and generally headed in a direction or the other, and it's definitely more of a buyer's one than it is a seller's one. Same goes for townhouses. So, with these recent increases in price, what it's telling us, as well as if you're looking at the increase overall in sales velocity for detached homes that we saw last month, is that people are biting more at the discounts, but there still seems to be quite a big gap between what sellers' expectations are from a couple years back, as well as what buyers are willing to actually practically pay. So if you're looking in the market as a purchaser, you definitely have more options and more room to negotiate than before. However, keep in mind all these numbers are aggregates across all property types, and the specific neighborhood and property type that you might be looking in could differ. And if you would like more information on a specific neighborhood that you're interested in, I'll leave my contact information in the description below. Now back to the update. When we're looking at the Fraser Valley, stats are similar to last month, as well as similar across the board in the sense that listings still remain elevated above the 10-year average, with sales being below the 10-year average. However, they didn't have an increase in the benchmark composite price or any of their property sectors month over month. In fact, they actually had a decrease. If you were on social media last month, you would have seen that they recorded a 0.1% increase after like more than a year, which some people thought actually meant something. But if you're looking at the actual stats in terms of the aggregate number of active listings versus solds, not much is different. So active listings in the Fraser Valley sit around 45% above 10-year average, with sales being down more than 30% below the 10-year average. So month over month, you're looking at a 0.7% decrease in the composite price for the Fraser Valley, 0.6% for detached, 0.3% for townhouses, and a whopping 1.5% month over month decrease for apartments. Regardless, the pattern remains consistent that we've seen over the last few months, which is above average inventory, below average sales, and overall decreases in price, with the exception of month over month increases in Greater Vancouver for detached homes and townhouses, but across the board, in aggregate year over year, still decreases in both the Greater Vancouver and Fraser Valley areas, with apartments leading the charge in terms of decreases in price being hit the hardest, being dragged down in large part due to the new construction inventory. Once again, I'll reiterate that these stats are aggregates across all property types, and these will vary greatly depending on the neighborhoods that you're looking in, the specific property that you might be interested in, as well as the price points that you're looking at. So if you would like more information regarding a specific neighborhood you're interested in, I'll leave my contact information in the description. Thanks for listening.